YouTube, and this is Chris here. Update video real quick. First, want to make note the reason why there hasn't been a video since my return video. Having a little problems with the program that I run these videos through. Seeing this is an older camera, uploading it directly to YouTube, the audio is out of sync, and even though I'm not worried directly about video quality at this time, because all I'm doing is having a conversation in my car, I am worried about, I don't like to watch anything, even if it's mainly just listening, where, there's a lot of things on YouTube that are like this, and it happens with VHS tapes and stuff as well, where the mouth is moving, but, it's just not lining up. It just doesn't look right. So, apology first, because this video is going to be that way, because I have to just get a quick update video out there. Just to let you guys know, I've got some videos recorded that I'm working on getting ran through a program. I was using Windows Movie Maker. For whatever reason, it did not come with the Windows 7 update, and for whatever reason, it's not letting me download it and install it, and either I'm going to have to go back to Windows XP, or I'm going to have to go to my public library on the other side of town for me, which anxiety issues I don't really like doing, because I've been there before, but it's been much long time ago. So, but I do what I have to do. I'm gonna keep these videos going. As far as content, you're just gonna hear me talk about whatever I feel like talking about, my issues, other issues, whatever. A lot of these videos I'm gonna try to do outside of my car, nothing fancy. It may be me walking around through a park, maybe me walking around through a graveyard. Just talking about my feelings about death and things of that nature, and maybe visiting my Aunt Alicia. I talk about not having anyone. Well, I did have an aunt at one point who passed away many years ago, who went through everything that I went through. So we related a lot, and we didn't have a good relationship because we were so much alike, and our issues were so combative. She was always depressed, I'm always depressed, so it kind of didn't work. We were family. We did give she gave me a lot of advice, and but she spent her final years in misery, secluded, alone, and that's where I'm akin to, and I'm afraid that's just exactly how I'm gonna spend my final years, unless I get lucky. It wasn't because she didn't have someone. She had a guy that took care of her tremendously, and that was great. So the reason why I say she spent her years alone is simply because she was 500 pounds, she couldn't get out, plus she wanted to be secluded, and she was a big person like me, bigger than me, but as her years of depression went on, she ate herself, she kept, she would hear it, she'd get made fun of, and she would comfort herself with food, so that got her overweight tremendously, to the point where she couldn't move around as good, and she wanted to be in there anyways. And even though she had a guy that took care of her, he was he was her caretaker, so it wasn't like a loving situation or anything like that. He was just there to take care of her. So I guess in a way she didn't die alone, but she did, and I didn't help her because I was going through my own phase, and the day she died I was nowhere around because I was going through my own depression. And I will always regret not making amends with her, not, being at 100%, peace with each other. So I will always, hate myself for that. And but I may take you, to the graveyard where she's buried. She doesn't even have a headstone. Couldn't afford it. I obviously couldn't afford it, and no one else in the family. Again, we were the shunned people of the family, and so what happened was she just, she was cremated, put her in an urn, and basically we brought her out to this graveyard here where another family member had been buried previously, and someone that, from her generation, that I guess she was a little more closer to, someone I really was not, and they just, dug a hole and put her urn in there, and that's, I guess, what she wanted. So we might do videos, with me outside of the car, and for that I would have to get a better quality and more stable camera. Better quality and more stable camera. Maybe a GoPro camera would be good for that. I'm not going to be doing any athletics or anything like that, but, eventually you guys may like listening, but you're not going to enjoy just seeing the same thing, me sitting in this car. So I'll take you on some videos and just show you what I'm looking at and what I'm doing, and you'll see that I'm always alone, that no one's ever with me, and I'm not going to be in any sociable places or anything, where there's lots of people. That's just not me. That's unfortunately the way my life has turned out. Now, in this update video, so that's where I'm at, and the audio is going to be off, and we'll get back to it. I promise. I'm not, going away again. This video is mainly for a guy out there named Donelly Miller. To be honest with you, I knew he was on Tosh.0, but honestly, I didn't watch it. I told him I watched it, but I didn't. I figured they brought him in there doing gymnastics. The other day, I just happened to watch it, and it was appalling. I know he makes his claim and puts in his videos he's a 38 and a half year old virgin. And, I have nothing against that. Honestly, I'm proud of him for not going out and paying some whore, some dirty, filthy whore that, may have a disease and transfer it to him. Now, I understand some of them women have deep mental issues and they need help. But a lot of them have disease and they don't disclose it, and I'm just proud of him for not doing that. But anyways, it's not about that. It's about him. He's posting a lot of weird videos, and I can understand why that Tosh.0 thing. That was just ridiculous. All they did was make fun of him. So let me tell you something, Donny. I am not a lawyer. I am not a legal expert, but I have done my share of being alone. Gives me a lot of time to look into things, and I kind of looked into this a little bit. And I would have to know if you signed, one, did you sign a contract with Comedy Central? Two, I need to know if there's anything in that contract that does not hold them liable for defamation of character lawsuit. Meaning that if you sign a contract and in there it states that they're going to make fun of you, they're going to bash you, and you could never sue them for defaming you, then I guess there's nothing you can do. But if that's not in that contract, and if you even signed a contract, you've got a lawsuit on your hands. You can sue Comedy Central, you can sue Daniel Tosh for everything. Now, even in a contract, if you agreed to go on the show, did you know about what they were going to do? Did you know they were going to make fun of your virginity? Did you know that they were going to, just basically throw you through the ringer? Yes, you got to meet Daniel Tosh, and sure, you got to meet Joe Rogan, that washed up has-been, who calls MMA fights, who thinks he's a wannabe MMA fighter these days. I've noticed he shaved his head, and he's all bulked up now. He's just a wannabe. I've never cared for Joe Rogan. That's a whole nother, show or topic. But anyways, if you signed a contract, and in that contract, you knew they were going to make fun of you, then I guess there's nothing you can do. But what I understand is you can sue them for defamation of character. You can also, even though you did have mental issues, and it's perfectly documented, does not matter. You can sue them for your mental issues getting worse. Because you can claim, yeah, you were in a state of funk. But after you did that, and after the horrendous outpouring, the horrendous, I guess shame you felt from it. I don't know if you're feeling any shame. Maybe you read a lot of comments that were really hurtful, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people out there made some very derogatory comments to you about that. But if it made your mental conditions worse, you can also sue for suffering, pain and suffering as well. So I'd like to know if you would be willing to talk to me about that. I'm not a lawyer, I'm not an attorney, but maybe, I could, who knows? Maybe we can just discuss. I can help you do research or something, man. Because I think you have it right. After seeing that, I don't understand how in the hell that it even went down. I don't understand, why you would agree to something like that. So it makes me wonder that you didn't have any idea. And as it was going along, maybe, you just went with it, and never even thought twice about it. Maybe you thought you were going to get some fame out of it or something. And I don't blame you for that. But I just cannot believe you would go on there and get made fun of for being a virgin. And it wasn't on the TV show, it was on the web. But still, a lot of people saw that. And it's insane. And I think, maybe you got paid, and maybe you signed a contract, and maybe you can't sue them. But if you could, man, it would help you. Because not only would you gain some popularity and notoriety, but you gain a lot of money, too. Because big companies like that, I think the parent company of Comedy Central might be Viacom, which is CBS, I believe. And you know they've got billions of dollars, and maybe you could get yourself in on that. But also, you know, after that, I'm worried about you on another point. The guns, man. The posting videos of you shooting guns. As far as you dumping your medicine, that's perfectly fine, because hell, medicine has never worked for me. And I'd do the same thing in a heartbeat. It may send the wrong message. That's the only thing I'll worry about. Because people may look up to you for you being open and able to talk about your issues. So the only thing I'm afraid of is it may be derogatory to someone who looks up to you. But as far as you not taking medicine, I'm all for it. That shit does not work. It's crap. You know, I take medication for my pain, and that's it. And because I got myself in a position where I became a drug addict, and now I'm suffering the repercussions of that. So that's the only reason I'm on any medication right now whatsoever. As far as psychiatric meds, fuck that. They've never worked for me. Yes, I'm in therapy, but that's just to have someone to talk to. That's the only reason I go to that. It's never worked, but it gives me someone to sit down every month and talk to, basically. And I might even quit doing that now that I'm back at YouTube, because I'm basically expressing myself here again. So we'll see. But I'm afraid, man, you might be calling out for help, man. I don't want nothing to happen to you. I'm very concerned that you might be contemplating suicide, man. And I made a comment in your video that I don't think people with mental issues need to be around guns. That's just my personal belief, you know. It seems like all these massacres that happen, the underlying cause is people who have mental health issues that were forgotten about, and they finally exploded. I'm not saying you would ever do that, but, you know, I just think you're crying out for help, man. And if you're not, I'm sorry, I apologize, but just know some people actually do care about you. We don't know each other. We've had casual conversation on the net. You used to live in Pensacola, Florida. Kind of wish you still did. Maybe we could be friends. Who knows? You know, maybe at one point I thought, you know, if you still lived here, you could help me get into shape, man, because you're athletic. You got a good, you know, frame of mind when it comes to keeping yourself in shape. That's something I could use some support with. But, you know, of course, you're way across the country now, so that's not a possibility. But you gotta understand there are people out there that do care about you, man. I can't call you a friend. I just can call you someone I've talked with, someone that inspired me to do YouTube videos. But just know there are people that would care if you know, weren't around anymore. You know, I enjoy watching your videos, although lately, all the skiing stuff, you know, that's cool and all, but I enjoyed your conversations, man. That's what it was about for me. And I don't blame you one bit if, you know, you got tired of putting yourself out there and you needed a break. But man, you could at least come back and just talk about the world, man. Talk about your views and opinions, you know. Just be there, because a lot of people watch you, man. You've got over 2,000 subscribers, I think. I would love to have 2,000 subscribers, but just know that, you know, there are people that do genuinely worry about what's going on with you, man. And I'm sorry that Tosh.0 did that to you, man. You know, if you did not agree to that. If you went in knowing that was going to happen to you, then I kind of question it, man. But, you know, I'm sure you had your good reasons, and maybe you didn't think it would come out like it did. But that was terrible, man. The way those three guys sat there and just hounded you, man. I mean, oh my God. And what did they get off doing that? That's what I want to know. Where do they get off, you know, putting someone down that... Did they know that you had mental health issues, man? Because obviously they didn't. Maybe you didn't tell them. I don't know. But I think it's wrong. And personally, I think Tosh.0 should be send you an apology. You should send, you know, people who watch you apology, because that defended me, you know, the way he treated you. And it makes me, you know, I kind of say, I have a big thing about Nev Schulman from Catfish. I hate him. I don't know him. He's popular, but I think his show is bullshit and fake. And now Tosh.0, Daniel Tosh, I think he's a piece of shit, you know, for doing what he did. If, and only if, you did not agree, I mean, if and only if you didn't agree to that. If you had agreed to everything, you had a script, you knew they were going to make fun of you, then, you know, again, I question it. But, you know, at the end of the day, just know that people care about you, man. And again, I think you have the basis for a lawsuit. You know, I'd need to know some contract details, but I'm not a lawyer, I'm not an attorney, but that's what one of the things I might have wanted to be if I ever would have made it in this world. And like I said, I spent a lot of time just researching and looking up things, and things like this, I always, you know, it's weird. As soon as I watched it, I immediately went online. I started doing research about defamation of character and just kind of. And you're a smart man. I can tell. You go to college. I don't. But you know, I'm self-taught. I'm street smart. I'm book smart. So, you know, I'm not the smartest man in the world. Of course, I can, you know, can't claim that. But I can say, you know, I can help you if you want to do research, man, because I have nothing but time. So. And I think someone else did a video out there about worrying about you, and I don't apologize for not knowing your screen name. I don't know if you know who I am or watched any of my videos, but that was a very commendable thing for you. And your video was a lot better than mine, you know, because your video was all about him. But here I'm discussing various topics. But at the end of the day, I do care if something happens, and if you're contemplating suicide, man, it's not worth it. I've been there. I know you have. I think have been there. I'm still alive for whatever reason. I don't know. But, you know, I think someone would care if you lived or died, man. For me, it might be a different story, but I'm not suicidal anymore. I've just take it a day at a time. For you, if you are, man, just hang in there, man. Don't do anything stupid. So that's my update video. And sorry if the audio's off. I made that clear at the start. I'll see you guys later. Peace.